Hello everyone, this is Priyanka. Welcome to my channel Priyanka's IT School. Today I'm sharing next tutorial on software testing and topic is dynamic testing, system testing. In previous tutorial, I have already discussed second level of software testing, that is integration testing and its approaches. So basically software testing is a process where we can test software application to identify defect from that application. And software testing have four important levels. First one is component testing. We called it as unit testing, where we can simply test the each individual unit of software application in isolation or independently. Clear? Second, we have that is integration testing. Integration testing where we can simply combine multiple module together and we can test their interface. Third level we have, this is what system testing. System testing is nothing but a complete process where we can simply combine all module together. We can say we test whole system or complete system for its functional and non-functional requirement, and this is what a system testing. And then we have a fourth level, nothing but user acceptance testing. So as per the user requirement, simply we can test the user acceptance testing, and it is again conducted by whom? End user. Okay, so in this tutorial we need to understand the whole concept about system testing. What is system testing, what are the basic categories of system testing, and how we can test the system testing. So generally, let's see the basic agenda. What is system testing? System testing categories, then what is the concept of build verification test, and our main focus in this system testing is to understand functional testing part. So this is a system testing part 1 tutorial. Okay, now let's see what are the different levels of software testing. So in software testing we have four different level: component, integration, system and user acceptance testing. And our main focus in this today's tutorial is system testing. We need to understand system testing with its category. Now, what is meant by system testing, guys? See, system testing is a process where tester can test whole or let's say complete software for its functional and non-functional requirement. So system testing focuses on behavior, capabilities of whole system or a product. Okay, it is often considering a end-to-end task of the system that system can perform, and the non-functional behavior, nothing but quality attribute of the system while performing those tasks. Based on this information, based on this important part or these two important aspects, that is functional and non-functional requirement, we have system testing categorized into two different major part, that is nothing but functional testing and non-functional testing. Functional testing where we can test functionality of the software application based on functional requirement of that software. Non-functional testing is nothing but it is a process where we can test quality attribute of software application based on non-functional requirement. Okay, so now in this today's session we are going to understand only the first important type of system testing, nothing but functional testing. What we can actually perform at the time of functional testing, what we can actually test at the time of functional testing, and what is this concept build verification test, where we have popular testing types, smoke testing and sanity testing. So now let's see. First, functional testing, where tester can test functionality of software application, right, as per functional requirement. What happens, see, at the time of functional testing, very first, what tester need to do before going to validate any software application, very first that application should be in executable state. And that's the reason, very first tester need to verify build of that entire software, whether that build is testable or not. We need to verify that initial state of the build. Okay, and this is we call build verification test. So very first at the time of functional testing, before going to start functional non-functional testing for that entire software, tester need to verify whether that build of software is testable or not, and that is we called build verification test. So now let's see what is exactly this build verification test and what we need to understand. How we can perform this build verification test. So guys, Here we need to start the entire information based on BVT. What is BVT? There is a question. What is BVT? BVT is nothing but build verification test. What is build verification test? BVT or build verification test is a process where tester validate testability of the build. Okay, that is tester check whether build is testable or not. If the build is testable, then and then only we can test that entire application. If build is not testable, we can't test such a application. Now, here one more question. What is mean by build? Okay, what is mean by build? Generally guys, build is an executable file. Okay, this is a exe file which is simply released from developer, we can say from development environment to tester, okay, in testing environment for testing purpose. So there are two important aspects we need to understand. This release concept we need to understand. How build get released from development environment into testing environment? So very first, what a developer will do, see, developer is responsible to develop the application. So once developer develop the application, he will simply release that exe, I mean the complete build in terms of exe file to what? To tester. Clear? To whom? To tester. For what? Testing purpose. Clear? So here tester can simply test that build. Okay, so very first, whenever developer develop the application, so at the initial stage, developer simply provide a build of that application to that tester, okay, for testing purpose. So this we call first level. Okay, this is nothing but we can call initial level release. Initial level release, where from the development environment, developer develop the application, developer will simply release the exe file of that particular application to the tester for testing purpose. Clear? Second, what happens somewhere in the build, if you found some defect, okay, then simply we can pass that entire defect to whom? Developer. Then developer will fix that defect. So whenever your build get updated with some kind of changes, okay, some kind of, we can say, minor changes, then that is what updated level build. Okay, so second level is nothing but, we can say, whenever that build get updated with some changes, developer can simply fix those changes, developer will simply correct those requirement or changes, and then simply that updated build again it get released to tester for testing purpose, and that is we call again updated build. Okay, updated build level. So here we have a two different levels to release a build. Okay, so same process is there, right? Developer will make a change in that build and developer will simply release that updated build to tester. Okay, here we have a updated build to tester, right? So process is again a common. Okay, based on this process guys, why I'm discussing this, because based on the process only we have a two different types in this build verification test. Okay, and this is a famous interview question. What is mean by smoke testing? What is mean by sanity testing? But you should know that smoke and sanity both are a part of what? Build verification test. Okay, so very first, while explaining smoke and sanity, you need to focus on that smoke and sanity both are the part of build verification test, where we can test software application build for its testability. We need to verify very first whether that build is testable or not. Clear? So based on the release of that build, we have a two different types in this build verification test, that is nothing but smoke testing. Okay, and second type is nothing but sanity testing. Okay, so now we need to understand what is the smoke and sanity testing concept. Okay, so very first, what is smoke testing? Smoke testing is a build verification test, right? Usually performed on initial software build to make sure that the critical functionality of the software are working absolutely fine. What is meaning of this? Let's see. Whenever we are doing this thing, okay, at the initial level, that means at the first time, whenever you receive as a tester, whenever you receive a build from developer, okay, on that build, which type you can perform? You can perform smoke testing or at this initial level. Clear? So whenever we receive a build, whenever we have a software to test, simply we can go for the first type, that is what? Smoke testing. What smoke testing will do? Smoke testing will simply test the core feature, core functionalities of the application. Okay, smoke testing will simply test what? Core feature of software application. Okay, so what happens? See, here, primary focus is to test the core or a main functionality of the application. Example, if you take example, let's say e-commerce site, right? So whenever we need to test any kind of simple web application, e-commerce site, any application you can take, Flipkart, Amazon, you can take any application. In that site, what is a core functionality? Yes, what we need to verify first? See, there are some main features available. Let's say registration process, customer login process, search product process, add item to the cart, payment process. These are what we have a main functionality to be tested, right? But very first, if you think as per a smoke testing, then which particular area we need to focus first? If that is a web application, okay, if that is a web application, then in web application execute how? Yes, how web application execute? With the help of URL address. So very first we need to focus on the URL part. Yes or no? If the URL is working properly, then and then only we can test the rest of the feature of that application. Clear? So if you ask me smoke test cases for web application, then very first we need to validate what? URL. Whether the URL of that website is working properly or not. Clear? If the URL is executable, then and then only we can go for the rest of the feature for that application. And that's the reason this part we need to focus first. Clear? URL address of that web application. Then what if we have any kind of desktop application? Yes, can you tell me? Yes, what if you have desktop application to be test? Then guys, let me tell you, desktop application, very first what we need to do, if you want to use application, there is a primary focus is installation process. Yes or no? Installation process we need to verify. Yes or no? Installation process. And that's the reason here we need to write a smoke test case for the installation process of that desktop application. So this is a primary and the main example for smoke test cases. Okay. And then you can go or then you can test the other main feature or core functionality of the application. Example, when you talk about web application, first we need to validate URL. Then only for that e-commerce site you can go for customer login, search product, then add item to the cart, then payment process, like this. Okay, if there is anything desktop application we have, first we need to validate installation process, then only we can go for the other module of that application. Okay, so this is what we need to focus at the time of smoke testing. Now what is the concept of sanity testing? Okay, so here let's first understand smoke testing. We can simply focus on the core feature of the application and the main part of the application. If the main functionality is working fine, then only we can go for the rest of the feature. Okay, so what is the sanity testing then? Yes, sanity testing is nothing but here we can test, I mean it is a part again of build verification test only. Okay, so sanity testing is a build verification test usually conducted after receiving a software build with some minor changes, okay, in that code or that functionality. So that means what? At initial level we can go for smoke testing, but whenever we have some minor changes in that build, whenever we receive any updated build from the developer, then only we can go for what? Sanity level testing. So sanity level testing or sanity testing are its main we can say aim to make sure that the proper, I mean the bug have been fixed properly. Clear? We need to make sure that the bug have been fixed properly. So sanity testing main objective is not to verify core functionality. Instead of it verify correctness and quality of that software. Clear? Which is usually done at the end of the cycle, and that's the reason guys, smoke testing we can call entry level testing. Okay, entry level testing, but sanity we can call exit level testing. Why it is so? Because sanity, when we can go for sanity, whenever software application we can say get update, get some it change based on the requirement or with some minor changes, then only we can go for the sanity testing. But initially, whenever you have a software application, very first we should go for each and every core functionality. Then and then only we can test the application in a deep. Okay, so that's the reason whenever we need to update, whenever we have any updated build, we can go for sanity level testing. Okay, and here one more point, sanity testing, we again we call it as a subset of regression testing. Okay, but smoke testing we call subset of acceptance testing. Okay, so again guys, what we can say in terms of example, whenever any application update with a new feature, or let's say after bug fix, sanity testing is conducted for that application, right? So here tester can test that particular feature in a deep. Okay, whatever the change feature we have, only that much of feature we can test in a deep. Okay, so smoke testing, here basic or functional testing we can test, and sanity testing is nothing but here we can test the application in a deep. Now let's understand the basic architecture for smoke and sanity. Okay, how we can perform this smoke sanity. So very first we understood that build verification test, both are the smoke and sanity, both are the part of for the build verification test. So whenever we have a build, so at the initial level, whenever you receive a build, okay, so this we call initial state, right? Initial state. So whenever we receive a build at that initial state, we can go for which type? We can go for smoke testing only. Clear? Then and then only we can go for, whenever all the smoke test cases are stable, pass, right? Then only we can go for functional test cases, that is functional testing. Then we can go for non-functional testing, and then we can go for other testing type, nothing but retesting and regression testing type. Clear? So generally this is what the scenario we should know, right? Whenever that build, okay, the same build, whenever that build with some kind of minor changes if you receive, okay, some kind of minor changes, because sanity testing is not similar to the complete regression testing. Okay, what is a regression testing? Regression testing is again a process where we can check a side effect of fixing. Okay, so whenever any changes occur in software application, we can go for regression testing. But in regression testing, we need to test the whole application in deep. Okay, but what happen in sanity level testing? Only that change related part we can test in a deep. That is what the basic difference. Okay, so here we have a second type, that is a sanity. Okay, I'm so sorry, just a minute. Here we have a second type, that is nothing but sanity level testing. Yes. So this is all about the sanity and smoke testing. Okay. So whenever at the initial level, whenever we receive a build, we can go for smoke testing. Okay. So based example for web application, very first we need to evaluate URL address of that application. For Windows application, you should go for installation process, and then you can focus on the core part or major functionality of that application. Sanity testing is done whenever the build is received with some minor changes. So only that change related part we need to test in a deep. Okay, so here basic functional testing we can go for smoke testing, and for deep testing we can go for sanity. Okay, regression, what we can do here, again we can go for a deep testing concept, but here whole software get tested, okay, deeply in a deep way. But here only the change related concern or change related we can say component we test in a deep. Okay, so based on this scenario only guys, we can also refer as we can say smoke testing, okay, which is a part of basic health checkup. Okay, smoke testing is nothing but basic health checkup. But if you talk about sanity, sanity is nothing but what we can call it specialized health checkup. Okay, so before going to test the functionality of the software application, that is functional testing, we should must focus on build or we can say testability of that build. Okay, whether the build is testable or not. And that's the reason to perform functional testing, very first we should understand the build. We need to test the build, we can say testability of the build, nothing but build verification test. Okay, so now let's see what is the basic difference between smoke and sanity we have. Okay, So smoke testing is nothing but shallow and wide approach to include all major functionalities without going into deep. Okay, narrow sanity is nothing but narrow and deep approach involving detailed testing of functionality. So can I say in smoke testing only we can perform the basic health checkup, right? So basic or major functionality are testable or not. Only we need to focus on that part, right? And sanity we need to perform deep testing. But deep testing related to only that particular module or component. It is executed on initial build. It is executed that passed over the build that passed smoke test, round of regression test, then only we can go for the sanity. Okay. It tests the stability of the build. It tests the rationality, nothing but quality, and we can say originality of that build. Okay. It is a subset of acceptance testing, and sanity testing is a subset of regression testing. Now, one more important point. Who is responsible to go for smoke testing and who is responsible to go for sanity testing? So generally guys, smoke testing is also performed by developer and tester. Okay, both are involved. Why it is so? Because developer is only responsible to develop the application. So whenever developer develop the application, developer will first check whether the build is executable, and then only it will release that build to the tester. Clear? For testing purpose. That's the reason both developer tester are involved in smoke testing. In sanity, it is always done by only tester. Clear? So this is all about the smoke and sanity. Now, to test the software application, we need to focus on what? I mean, system testing is a complete process where we can test the complete software application for its functional and non-functional requirement. So now we need to understand what is functional requirement and what exactly functional testing we can do for this entire system, okay, for entire system or software. So very first, what is meant by functional testing? Yes, if there is a question, what is functional testing? So functional testing is a type of system testing where software system validate for its functional requirement. In functional testing, each function of software application is to test, okay, by providing input and verifying output against that functional requirement. In functional testing, every functionality, then end-to-end feature, all the functional component we need to test. Okay, so primary objective of functional testing is to check functionality of software application. But again, there is a question: what we actually test or what we actually do in this? In this at the time of this functional testing, right? So we need to focus some major areas while functional testing. Okay, let's see. So basic concept is what is functional testing. So here we can test every software application. Okay, suppose this is my software application, then we need to provide some input to that software application, agree, and then if we need to evaluate the output of that software application. Okay, based on what? Based on functional requirement. So important concept is functional requirement. We can do functional testing based on the functional requirement. Now, to conduct functional testing, what kind of areas you can cover at the time of functional testing? You should understand these areas with respect to 6 different coverage. Okay, with respect to 6 different coverages. What are those? Let's see. First important coverage is nothing but GUI coverage. Okay, what is meant by GUI? GUI is nothing but graphical user interface. See, whenever you deal with any software application, what you will get? Yes, you will get software application something like this. You will get something like this, any kind of application, okay, which have always or which always requires some kind of component to be dealt, right? Or some kind of control to be dealt. Example, if I have a web application, then generally if you want to enter some data, example, if I want to perform some login activity, okay, so let's say if I want to perform some login activity, there should be proper control available. Example, first control should be username, second control should be, let's say, password, and there should be a OK or submit button to enter or to validate that login. Clear? So here, what are these? These are nothing but some control through which we can understand or through which end user can simply interact with the application. Clear? So GUI stands for graphical user interface. What we can test in this coverage? Here, as a tester, a responsibility is we need to verify, we need to validate each and every control, graphical user interface control as per the functional requirement. So as a tester, we need to validate these control as per the functional requirement. Example, if there is a requirement, username should accept alphanumeric data. Okay, alphanumeric data. Then what we can test here, whatever the alphanumeric data user can enter, that data should be accepted by that login or that application. Simple. So suppose example, if I want to enter something like this, AB12, right? So this is what alphanumeric data. So this data should be accepted successfully by this application. In this way, you can simply validate the control. Okay, what user can do at the time of button? Yes, once user, here we can't pass any data. Here we can only perform a click action. So whether that button is properly clicked by the user or not, right? Then once the button get clicked, all the data should be passed to whom? Yes, data should be passed to backend side. Yes or no? There should be some backend, right? And in that backend, data get validated. If it is correct, then only once you click on the button, it should simply open, okay, or it will navigate to the next page. Yes or no? This is what the functionality we need to verify. Clear? So validation done at the backend side only. Clear? So what we can test at the time of GUI coverage? So every screen in software application is tested with all the GUI control, that is graphical user interface, through which user can interact with the application. So first, all GUI control as per the requirement, tester can verify or tester can simply validate, right? Then second, what we can do, see, whenever we have application, what we can do, we need to pass some input, right, to validate that output. Okay, so second coverage we have, that is input domain coverage. What we can do at the time of input domain coverage, here tester can test the input. Okay, so we need to validate the input, whatever user writing, okay, whatever data you are passing, that data need to verify by this input domain coverage. If there is something, let's say if there is a particular option, or we can say a field is available, that is the age field, so here only we'll get to know, yes, user can enter only what, the numeric data. Clear? So let's say 30, 35, like this data, any data can user here enter. So age should accept only numbers, it should not accept any kind of text A, B, C like this. Okay, so as per the input or as per the functional requirement of that application, we can simply verify or validate the field, okay, or input domain of that application. This is what input domain coverage. Similarly, once you test, once you pass some input, that input should pass or process by whom? Software. And this process actually perform at which side? It is performed at backend side. Clear? So very first, tester or any user, simply they can pass an input, that input get processed by whom? Backend side. So backend means what? Actually we need to verify a database. Clear? So whatever data you are passing, are the data is correct or not, okay, or correctly stored into database or not, because database, here we have a table format, right? So all that data is correctly passed to that particular column and row, correctly hold in that particular table, we need to verify that thing also. So backend is also important to test at the time of functionality of the software application. Clear? So that's the reason here we have a third important coverage. Again, we can say backend coverage. Okay, backend coverage. Yes. So what we can do at the time of backend coverage? Backend always talks about database, so backend server operations, and we can say whenever user interact with the application, that is a front end side, right? But the backend side, whenever you are passing some data from the front end, whether that data is correctly hold into the database or not, this get actually test at the time of backend testing. Okay, so backend coverage. So again, not only database, but here we can test API interface, client server communication, right? There are many more server activities or the validation activity we can test at the time of backend coverage. Okay, but this is important where we actually I can simply say that when you pass some data, that data get processed by the backend. So backend testing is also important, and that we can test at the time of functional testing. So whenever data is processed, okay, definitely you will get a output. Okay, after, if the data processed correctly, that means if the data is valid, let's take the same example. Whenever you are passing correct username and correct password in this login login form, then only you will get to know the output, okay, whether the particular next page get opening or not. So this is what the output we need to verify. How we can verify? Of course, we have a fourth important coverage for that, that is a output domain coverage. Okay, so as per the input, as a tester, we need to verify, we need to validate the output screen of the software application. That output can become in any ways. Let's say in terms of, let's say, any kind of new page or any kind of pop-up, anything, right? But we need to verify that output. That output should be stable, output should be correct. Okay, any end user cannot or that user cannot change that output window, right? We should need to take care of those all the detail for that output, clear? And that's the reason we should simply go for output domain coverage, where we can validate the output of software application. Now again, as per the output, yes, if data is correctly passed, okay, and if software is correctly processed, and finally you will get the output. But if there is a problem, okay, while processing any data, while processing that input, what software will do? Software will simply throw an error. Yes, then we should focus on the error part too, right? And that's the reason, guys, we need to understand here fifth important coverage, that is nothing but error handling coverage. If example, if software provides you error, or software simply throws some error, then that error should be handled clearly by the software itself, right? But we need to verify that error messages too. Okay, whether we can say what is error handling or error handling coverage. Let's say error messages also get validated in this particular coverage, right? So we can say prevention of wrong operation with meaningful error messages, like displaying any message before closing a file, like this we need to verify. Or if you put some wrong data at the time of login, so whether that application is showing you or throwing you some kind of error, right? Meaningful messages should be there, right, for the username and password. This kind of, error pop-up window or error messages we can verify or we can validate at the time of error handling coverage. So this coverage is also important. Okay, then we should know what is entire complete software. How we can test a complete software? Software comprises with a multiple module. Okay, example, if you say software application, then software application means what? Here we have a multiple module, right, to perform the process. Suppose example, let's take an example of Gmail application. So in Gmail, what we need to do, whenever you are a new user for a Gmail, you can simply go for a registration process, then only you can go for a login process. After that, you can perform the other activities in Gmail, and finally you can go for a logout. Can I say this is what the end-to-end scenario, right? And this order should be correctly executed or correctly executed by the software application. So whenever we are going to test the functionality of software application, end-to-end functionality, that order of functionality also need to verify. And that's the reason we have a last coverage in functional testing, that is, we can say order of functionality. Okay, order of functionality. So we can test simply each and every execution order in this particular coverage. That is what order of functionality. So generally in system testing, the complete system get test for a functional and non-functional requirement. But once you talk about functional testing part, then we need to focus on these all 6 important coverages. So once again, guys, functional testing can be performed or can be done manually as well as automation with the help of automation tool. Okay, so some popular functional testing tools are available. Let's see, QTP, Selenium, JUnit, SOAP UI. These are some popular automation tools available through which we can perform functional testing. So the basic aim of functional testing is to test the functionality of the software, right? We have a second category for system testing, because system testing is a complete process where we can test the software application for functional and non-functional requirement. So second category, that is nothing but non-functional testing. What is the non-functional testing? Non-functional, here we can test the quality attribute of the software application, right? But these quality attribute, nothing but what we can say, performance testing, usability testing, compatibility testing, then configuration, right? There are many more types are available. So this non-functional aspect I'll explain in my next tutorial, right? So this is all for this entire system testing and the part 1, that is a functional testing tutorial. Okay, so that's all for the tutorial. Stay tuned, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you everyone.